Howdy folks, today I'll be doing a service on my X-Fusion Vengeance fork. I'll only be putting oil in today, no seals, but as you can see, I've worn down the outer layer to the metal. That was like a year or two ago. Since then I've serviced it a few times, but today I'm just going to be putting in some new oil. To begin, you'll need to take off the wheel. And to do that, I'll be using my Crank Brothers M19 multi-tool, which I reviewed. And on a lot of newer forks, you don't need to use a tool to take off this axle. But since mine is older, I'll need to do that. This is how it looks. And that's how easy that is. Now I'm just going to loosen all these bolts on top. And I'm just using an adjustable wrench here. And they're not very tight. So you'll loosen both bolts, and on the left side, you'll have to push that one into the fork, and usually you'll use a mallet for that. There's a few washers here and random sealing things. So I'll have to push that in with the mallet or something. Now on the right side, there's a Schrader valve that I think they put oil in or something. I've never put anything into there or let anything out, but I have to take that lid off. To take that lid off, I'll just loosen the bolt beneath it, and that should just push it up. And this fork, the X-Fusion Vengeance, it has 170 millimeters of travel, which is quite a bit, but it is a 2013 year, or the whole bike is, and so it has 26-inch wheels. If it was newer and it had 27 5-inch wheels, then I would upgrade it, because the fork isn't that great. It works fine for big jumps and stuff, but it's not very good. So now I'm just unscrewing that bolt on the right. It should be almost off. So on top here, I actually need to push in both of these. And so for this left side, I'll just push it in with the mallet. But on the right side, if I just hammer it in, the valve will probably let out some oil. So I'm just going to use a washer and a bolt. And that should hopefully not let it hit that valve thing. Yeah, I felt it go in, so should be able to just push it in. Yep. So now if I just pull this out, then the oil will fall down out of the bottom. So now I'll need to tip the bike over and let it into a container. I remember from last time that when I try to take off this black part, the lowers, the brake lever, it won't let me take it off because it's not long enough, so I'll need to take off the brakes, or just the front brake. So now I should be ready to tip over the bike and let the oil into my container here. So now I'm just gonna flip over the bike and let the oil into my bucket here. don't. And you probably didn't see, but a lot of the oil went out the bottom holes of this here. I don't know if you can see there. And you'll want a rag hanging around so you can wipe up the oil that doesn't end up in the bucket. Now I've hung up the bike so that none of the fork is touching the bucket or the ground, and I've let it sit too, and so you can see there's a bit of oil that's come out, some really dirty stuff down there, some cleaner, and you can see I've really worn down the left side of the stanchion, right around where the seal is, and this is the left side of the lowers. I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty dirty down there, so I should be replacing the seals. You should every time, but I don't have any new seals today. And on the right side it's still pretty clean, but I still could replace the seals. So now you're just gonna have to clean out the inside of the lowers and the stanchions, and then you'll put the oil inside. And so you can use rubbing alcohol to clean off the inside and the stanchions, and some lint-free towels, and that's how easy it is to clean. Now that I've cleaned and drained the oil out of the fork, it's time to put back on the lowers and flip the bike back upside down. And then I'll put in the 10 WT fork oil, which was about $10 from Amazon. So now I've put the lowers on most of the way onto the stanchions, but before putting it all the way in, you'll have to put the fresh oil into the 2 holes here. And so for the drive side, you need 20 milliliters of oil, that 10 WT fork oil, and so I'm going to put in that 20 milliliters of the oil into the left side, and I'm going to use this funnel sort of thing. Funnel is working. Make sure you get all of it in there. I actually put a little bit more than 20 milliliters, so it would all go in. So there, I've got it all in there. So now I'm going to put 15 milliliters into the right side here. So I'll have to pour myself some more oil, 15 milliliters. So now that I'm done that, I'll just be able to slide the lowers down into place and put the bolt in. Now I've pushed the lowers down all the way, and I'm going to put the nut things on top now. So here's one of them. Tightening very easy. And here's the other one. Just tighten the top 2 nuts just till it suddenly gets quite a bit harder to tighten them. And I've done that on the right side and the left side as well. Now I'm putting on the wheel, and I haven't put on the brake yet. Actually, I'll have to take off the wheel again. Let's set the wheel on there, and now the brake caliper, and I'll just have to tighten the caliper a little bit so it'll stay on. Now back on the pencil. Make sure to hang on. Nice little bit, like, you don't want to be falling off.